Hi there. It's January 15th, Monday, Martin Luther King Jr. Day. A holiday legally, but a lot of companies don't recognize it. So I don't know where their priorities are, but it's what it is. You know. So let's go over to Proverbs 15 and we'll get into it. I'm using the English Standard and I have my old pre-1984 New International Version on the desk here for cross-reference. This is important right at the beginning. Okay. Make that pink. If you're arguing with somebody, a soft word turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. Okay? It's important. You know? Especially if your spouse, if your significant other, if you're yelling at them, your kids. You know? If they're mad and they're yelling at you, if you answer softly, you know, don't show emotion, they'll calm down. Sometimes. You know? But if you yell back at them, it's only gonna, like putting gasoline on a fire, you know? You can put water on a fire, or you can put gasoline on a fire. So, you choose. Okay? Verse 2. The tongue of the wise commends knowledge, but the mouths of fools pour out folly. We see that every day. All you got to do is turn on the TV or the internet, and you see that. The eyes of the Lord are in every place, keeping watch on the evil and the good. Got that? He sees everything, good and bad. A gentle, what does this say, or healing tongue is a tree of life, but perverseness in it breaks the spirit. There you go. That's goes with verse 1. A soft answer turns away wrath, and a gentle tongue, a healing tongue, is a tree of life. You got that? And the two go together either. Two. This 1 and 4 can go together. But a harsh word stirs up anger, but perverseness in it breaks the spirit. Like that. You could use those interchangeably. Verse 5. A fool despises his father's instruction, but whoever heeds reproof is prudent. All right. Kids are supposed to listen to their parents because they've usually already gone through what kids are going through now in some form or other. Okay. 6. In the house of the righteous there is much treasure, but trouble befalls the income of the wicked. Right. That's pretty basic. Work hard and get something honestly. You know, that's good. If you don't. The lips of the wise spread knowledge, not so the hearts of fools, or not steadfast. Verse 8. The sacrifice of the wicked is an abomination to the Lord, but the prayer of the upright is acceptable to him. You know, people like to buy their way out of trouble. Sacrifice of the wicked. Now, what does that say in the NIV here? The Lord detests the sacrifice of the wicked, but the prayer of the upright pleases him. When people try to buy their way out of sin, God doesn't like that. Okay, verse 9. The way of the wicked is an abomination to the Lord, but he loves him who pursues righteousness. Right. Pretty straightforward, that. 10. There is severe discipline for him who forsakes the way. Whoever hates reproof will die. Wow. Yeah, what does that say in the NIV? Stern discipline awaits him who leaves the path. He who hates correction will die. Yeah. Leaves the path or forsakes the way. 11. Sheol and abandon lie open before the Lord. How much more the hearts of the children of man. That's weird. Death and destruction lie open before the Lord. How much more the hearts of men? That's the NIV. Sheol and abandon lie open. You'd have to do studies on that one verse, huh? A scoffer does not like to be reproved. He will not go to the wise. Right? Think about all these protesters that are not really protesting. Somebody's paying them to do that, okay? Whenever you see, when something happens, and within hours there are protesters there with printed signs, you know somebody else is paying them to do that. And you can't argue with them because they're actors. Even if they know the truth, they won't say it. They don't like to be reproved. Yeah? And most of them, he will not go to the wise. Most of them won't go up to a learned person and say, what's really going on? They won't. So, 13, a glad heart makes a cheerful face, but by sorrow of heart the spirit is crushed. Right. A glad heart makes a cheerful face. Think about that one. 14, the heart of him who has understanding seeks knowledge, but the mouths of fools feed on folly. Yes. Folly is foolishness. The mouth of fools feed on foolishness. Okay? Pretty straightforward. All right? And there's a few out there that are actually seeking the truth. And you can find them if you look for them. All the days of the afflicted are evil, as in 15, but the cheerful of heart has a continual feast. We'd have to do some studies on having a cheerful heart, and that's having joy. Joy is not happiness. Happiness is fleeting. Joy is the lasting feeling you have knowing that you're saved and you belong to the Lord and you're going to heaven and everything will be perfect. Okay? And if you have that, so no matter what, Jesus says they can do anything to your body, but they can't take your soul and your joy. Okay? Where was I at? 15? Continual feast. Yep. 16. Better is a little fear with the Lord. I'm going to highlight this just I know we talked about it. 16. Better is a little with fear, the fear of the Lord, than great treasure and trouble with it. Right. It's better to be a poor Christian than a rich anything. Okay? It only brings trouble. That's a good one. 17. Better is a dinner of herbs where love is than a fattened ox and hatred with it. Now that one says over here, better a meal of vegetables where there is love than a fattened calf with hatred. Yeah. Yeah, it's good. Let's make that yellow. I talked about this a lot at Thanksgiving when we went over this in the November version. You know, around Thanksgiving, you go someplace with a big meal and everybody's fighting and they hate each other. And, you know, that's just not, you know, it's better to stay home and have a peanut butter sandwich, okay? Than to go to a feast where everybody's fighting and the cops get called and, you know, all kinds of weird stuff. Okay. Verse 18. A hot-tempered man stirs up strife, but he who is slow to anger quiets contention. This is a continual struggle with a lot of people, even myself sometimes. Sometimes you just don't know what to do with yourself, you know. Just pray. 19. The way of a sluggard or a lazy person is like a hedge of thorns, but the path of the upright is a level highway. Right. Lazy people always have excuses. There's a monster outside, says in another part of Proverbs. Hey, 20. A wise son makes a glad father, but a foolish man despises his mother. Yeah. 21. Folly is a joy to him who lacks sense. Foolishness is a joy to him who lacks sense. But a man of understanding walks straight ahead. Right. 22. Without counsel, plans fail, but with many advisors, they succeed. Right. This is very, in business, this is very important to get lots of advisors and stuff. You just blindly go straight ahead and not have a plan, 23. To make an apt answer is a joy to a man. And a word in season, how good it is. That's where, what does that say over here in the NIV? A man finds joy in giving an apt reply, and how good is a timely word. Right. Apt. Let's look that up. Apt. Apt. Advanced. No, that's not what apt is. I'm calling it free software. I want the word. So they're not going to give it to me because it's some software crap. Yeah. Well, they won't tell us. Apt, on time, basically. 24. The path of life leads upward for the prudent, that he may turn away from Sheol or hell beneath. Right. 25. The Lord tears down the house of the proud, but maintains the widow's boundaries. Okay. 26. The thoughts of the wicked are an abomination to the Lord, but gracious words are pure. Gracious words are pure. Right. I like that. 27. Whoever is greedy for unjust gain troubles his own household, but he who hates bribes will live. Okay. This is talking about, well, it could be talking about politicians, right? They love bribes. Most politicians' net worth, the average net worth of a politician gains $1.5 million every year, and we pay them $170,000. So, where does that money come from? We're not giving it to them. It comes from bribes. They love bribes, and they will die. Whoever is greedy for unjust gain troubles his own household. He who hates bribes will live. There's a few who don't take bribes, and you never hear from them. There's 500 members, and there's probably only, maybe 25 or 30 that you hear from all the time that like to stand up and talk. I'm sure there's a few that are just doing their job, representing the people that they're supposed to. But, I don't know. 28. The heart of the righteous ponders how to answer, but the mouth of the wicked pours out evil things. Got that? Ponders how to answer. I like that. What's that say over here? Okay, I have 2 pages here. This old Bible is, there we go. Where are we at? 28 in the NIV says, can't see this with these glasses. The heart of the righteous weighs its answers, but the mouth of the wicked gushes evil. Yeah. Somebody asks you a question, ponder it. Think about it. Don't just blurt out the first thing that comes out of your mouth. It says right there, mouth of the wicked pours out evil things, or gushes, it says in the NIV. Ponder how to answer. Think about it. And if you don't have an answer, let me think about that. Let me A lot of things say, let me pray about it. But the Lord is far from the wicked, but he hears the prayers of the righteous. Got that? 30. The light of the eyes rejoices the heart, and good news refreshes the bones. Right? Everybody likes good news. The ear that listens to life-giving reproof will dwell among the wise. Got that? Listen to wise counsel. Okay? Whoever ignores instruction despises himself, but he who listens to reproof gains intelligence. Okay? Listen, I mean, if your parents are trying to tell you something, son, you know, I've been there, and especially grandparents, they've been everywhere. Okay. If your grandparents are Christian, they are the wisest people you will ever talk to. Okay. My grandparents are gone. I'm 64, so my grandmother died, you know, about 40 some odd years ago, but she was the wisest person I ever talked to. So, okay. 32, whoever ignores instruction, oh, that's what we read, right? He who listens to reproof gains intelligence. Okay. And 33, the fear of the Lord is instruction in wisdom, and humility comes before honor. This is very, very important. Okay? Fear of the Lord, or reverence, awe, respect, following of the Lord, is instruction and wisdom. Okay? And humility comes before honor. It talks all over in Proverbs about being humble, about never going to the front of the table thinking that you're important, because then he's going to go, oh, I'm sorry, your seat is back there. Okay, it's better to sit in the back first and be humble and then be called forward. Then everybody go, oh, look, he's calling him forward. You know, let other people build you up. Don't build yourself up. Don't brag. You know, that's why interviews are so hard. I said, tell me about yourself. And they want you to brag on yourself, but you don't want to brag on yourself. And it sounds, you know, very haughty if you're, well, I did this and I did this and I did this and I did this. You know, that's something we struggle with. Well, there's Proverbs 15. What do we highlight here? A soft answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. Remember that. You're arguing. Be calm. Talk softly. And you'll calm the other person down. Okay? And that goes with 4. A gentle tongue is a tree of life, but perverseness in it breaks the spirit. And if you're the one who's angry and mad and things aren't going right, hopefully someone is there who can just speak softly and say, it's okay, calm down. The softer you speak, the more calm they'll get, because they want to hear what you're saying. Okay? We highlighted 3. The eyes of the Lord are in every place, keeping watch on the evil and the good. He sees it all. Right? We highlighted verse 8. The sacrifice of the wicked is an abomination to the Lord, but the prayer of the upright is acceptable to him. And this could also be sacrifice of the wicked. You know, these philanthropists, okay? They got money, and they're doing it only, look what I'm doing, look what they call the media first before they give a poor man a sandwich, because they want the media, look at him giving this man a sandwich. Just for their own, you know, so they can. God doesn't like that, okay? That stuff should be done in secret. No. And we highlighted 13. A glad heart makes a cheerful face, but by sorrow the heart of the spirit is crushed. That's tough. Saying here, a happy heart makes the face cheerful, but a heartache crushes the spirit. Right? Happy heart. We'll have to do a study on a happy heart someday. 16. I call this the Thanksgiving verse. Better is a little with fear of the Lord than great treasure and troubles with it. All right. And better is a dinner of herbs where love is than a fattened ox and hatred with it. Okay, that's the Thanksgiving verse. Better to stay home and have a peanut butter sandwich than go somewhere where you're going to be fighting and somebody's mean and you know how much this cost me. Nobody wants to hear that. No. So, then we highlighted 18. A hot-tempered man stirs up strife. But he who is slow to anger quiets contention. Remember that. Yeah, remember that. 22. Without counsel, plans fail. But with many advisors, they succeed. Right? Get advice from wise people. If you're starting a business, get advice from people who have successful businesses. And not from the man who's just working for a living and trying to feed his family. Okay? You want wise counsel. People that have been there. People that have done it. I tell you, don't do this because it doesn't work. Okay? And 26, I just like this. Gracious words are pure. The thoughts of the wicked are an abomination to the Lord. Right. And 27, whoever is greedy for unjust gain troubles his own household, but he who hates bribes will live. And we talked about politicians doing just the opposite of this, huh? And 28, the heart of the righteous ponders how to answer. Be slow to speak. Okay? Slow to speak. 31, the ear that listens to life-giving reproof will dwell among the wise. Okay. If your parents or your grandparents or somebody wise in age that tries to tell you something, listen to it. Okay? And 33, the fear of the Lord is instruction and wisdom, and humility comes before honor. Always be humble. So, there you go. That's Proverbs 15. Stay tuned later today for the final chapters of Job in our 365 days through the Bible. God speaking. And he's going to wrap it all up today. So today we finished Job. That's kind of exciting. I've never studied Job so much, but I'm glad I did. So stay tuned for that. Until then, remember, be humble. Speak softly. See you next time.